Mary Tyler Moore, the woman who made the world laugh, cry, and cheer for decades. The star who redefined television, showed women they could be independent, bold, and funny, and brought warmth into millions of homes. For years, fans have adored her, celebrated her career, and remembered her as the beloved queen of late-night living rooms. But behind that radiant smile and the bright-eyed charm, there was a mystery. A story that remained hidden for decades, whispering through Hollywood gossip, unanswered questions, and cryptic interviews until now. Recent revelations, private accounts, and insider interviews have finally unraveled the truth. The mystery surrounding Mary Tyler Moore, the struggles, the controversies, the personal battles she fought away from cameras, is more shocking than anyone imagined. And the truth isn't just sad, it's unsettling. For years, people assumed they knew Mary Tyler Moore, the joyful star of The Mary Tyler Moore Show, the Emmy-winning actress, the woman who could light up a screen. But the details emerging now paint a different picture. Behind the laughter, behind the charm, there was tension, heartbreak, and decisions that shaped her life, in ways no one saw coming. Hollywood tried to keep the truth buried. Colleagues stayed silent. Fans speculated endlessly. And Mary herself, as luminous and private as ever, never revealed the full story. Until now. This is the untold story of Mary Tyler Moore, the mystery that lingered for decades, the secrets that shocked even those closest to her, and the revelation that shows her life was far more complicated and far darker than anyone realized. Mary Tyler Moore's name is synonymous with television excellence. For decades, she was the smiling face that greeted millions in their living rooms, the actress whose charm, humor, and warmth seemed effortless. But behind that radiant image was a life far more complicated than fans ever imagined. A mystery loomed over her personal and professional life, whispered about in Hollywood corridors and hinted at in interviews, a story that remained unsolved until now. Mary's rise to fame was meteoric. She started as a dancer, moved into acting, and quickly became one of the most beloved faces on TV. The Dick Van Dyke Show showcased her comedic timing and charm, while The Mary Tyler Moore Show cemented her status as a trailblazer. She wasn't just a funny woman. She was a symbol of independence, intelligence, and ambition, at a time when Hollywood rarely celebrated women who dared to be both smart and successful. But success came at a price. Sources close to Mary reveal that the relentless schedule, constant scrutiny, and pressures of maintaining a perfect public image began to take a toll on her mental and emotional well-being. Hollywood, a world obsessed with appearances and gossip, often painted her life in oversimplified terms. The cheerful star, the beloved daughter of television, the woman who had it all. The reality was far more nuanced. For years, Mary faced private struggles that were rarely acknowledged publicly. Friends and colleagues noticed the tension, the late nights, the moments where her cheerful exterior masked fatigue, frustration, and anxiety. She was constantly navigating the difficult balance between being a groundbreaking television icon and maintaining a personal life that was increasingly complicated. Behind the scenes, Mary was known to be fiercely independent, but also deeply private. She had relationships that inspired rumors and speculation, and yet she rarely addressed them publicly. Studio executives, colleagues, and even close friends had little insight into the full picture of her struggles, and so the mystery lingered. It wasn't just the personal challenges. Mary also faced professional hurdles that Hollywood rarely discussed. Creative disagreements, conflicts over scripts, and pressures to maintain her perfect on-screen persona added layers of stress that the public never saw. While audiences celebrated her brilliance, very few understood the sacrifices, struggles, and private battles that accompanied her career. Now, decades later, the full picture is emerging. Interviews with insiders, old personal accounts, and recently uncovered documents are revealing the truth behind the facade. The mystery surrounding Mary Tyler Moore's life is finally being solved, and what emerges is shocking. The challenges she faced, the personal and professional hardships, and the weight of expectations created a reality that was far more troubling than the public ever knew. This is not just the story of a television icon. This is the untold story of Mary Tyler Moore, the woman behind the smile, the struggles behind the laughter, and the truth that Hollywood tried to keep hidden. While the world adored Mary Tyler Moore for her radiant smile and comedic brilliance, Hollywood insiders were quietly aware that her life was not as perfect as it appeared on screen. The pressures of fame, combined with personal struggles, had begun to weigh heavily on her. Friends noticed changes. Moments when her laughter seemed forced, when her usual sparkling energy dimmed just slightly, and when she retreated from social events she would once have attended with joy. Mary was not alone in facing these challenges, but what set her apart was the intensity of expectation placed upon her. As the star of one of the most groundbreaking television shows in history, she was under constant scrutiny. Every decision, every hairstyle, every line of dialogue was analyzed. Behind the cameras, producers and network executives were rarely satisfied, always demanding perfection. And while audiences cheered for the carefree, independent woman on screen, Mary was navigating the immense emotional toll of maintaining that image. Complicating matters further were personal relationships that, while not scandalous, drew speculation and added stress. Colleagues described Mary as fiercely loyal, yet private, forming deep emotional bonds with those she trusted, while carefully guarding the rest of her life. Hollywood gossip columns seized upon these connections, creating a narrative that was often inaccurate, sensationalized, and misleading. Yet the whispers persisted, leaving Mary to confront rumors that threatened to overshadow her professional accomplishments. One of the most challenging aspects of her life, sources reveal, was the feeling of isolation. Even surrounded by cast members, crew, and a devoted audience, Mary often felt misunderstood. She had built her identity on her work, and while she loved her craft, it also became a source of pressure. Long hours on set, grueling schedules, and the constant demand to be on left little room for personal reflection or recovery. Health issues also began to emerge in ways that the public rarely saw. Friends and family noted periods of exhaustion and stress-induced ailments, some of which persisted for years. Mary faced these challenges quietly, refusing to let them interfere with her public persona. Her professionalism was impeccable. She rarely cancelled shoots. She rarely complained, and she rarely allowed the world to see her vulnerabilities. But insiders knew the truth. She was human, and the weight of expectations was taking a toll. Adding another layer to the mystery was the enigmatic nature of Mary's decisions regarding her career. She walked away from roles that could have made her even more famous. She challenged scripts and storylines that she felt undermined her integrity. These choices were bold, but came at a cost, creating tension with studios and colleagues alike. For years, this fueled speculation. Why would such a successful star turn down opportunities that seemed tailor-made for her? The answer lies in her unwavering commitment to authenticity and self-respect, qualities that were admired privately but often misunderstood publicly. Today, looking back, it's clear that the Mary Tyler Moore mystery was never about her actions, or even about Hollywood gossip. It was about the immense pressures she faced as a woman in an industry that demanded perfection while offering little support. It was about the private struggles hidden behind an iconic smile, and the personal resilience required to maintain brilliance under relentless scrutiny. The revelations now emerging paint a picture that is far more sobering than the cheerful sitcom world she created. They reveal a life marked by challenges, resilience, and quiet battles, struggles that the public never fully understood, and that Hollywood, for decades, attempted to obscure. Even as Mary Tyler Moore charmed the world on screen, her life behind closed doors was often far more complicated than anyone could imagine. Hollywood thrives on appearances, and Mary's image was pristine, the independent, cheerful, witty woman who could make audiences laugh while redefining the role of women in television. But sources close to her reveal a different side, one filled with tension, heartbreak, and constant effort to maintain control over a world that rarely gave women the space to do so. At the height of her career, Mary faced constant scrutiny from both the media and industry insiders. Gossip columns twisted her personal relationships into sensational headlines, Colleagues speculated about her private life, and every decision she made became fodder for rumor. Yet the most striking part of this story is how little the public truly understood the emotional toll of such attention. Every smile, every perfectly timed joke, every witty remark on camera came at a cost. The cost of constantly being watched, analyzed, and misunderstood. Her personal life was no less complicated. Close friends describe periods of loneliness, despite fame, where Mary retreated from the public eye to recharge and protect her inner world. There were friendships strained by misunderstandings, mentors and confidants who drifted away, and moments when she felt completely isolated. Even surrounded by admirers, she faced the kind of solitude that only someone constantly under public scrutiny can understand. Adding to the strain were professional challenges that few fans ever saw. While the world celebrated her groundbreaking work, Mary often fought battles behind the scenes to maintain creative control over her projects. Scripts she deemed unsuitable were rejected. Storylines she felt undermined, her character were reworked, and studio pressures weighed heavily on her. Each decision required negotiation, compromise, and at times confrontation, all while keeping up her public persona. It was a delicate balancing act, one that left lasting scars even as the accolades poured in. Health issues also played a role in the mystery surrounding Mary. Insiders mention periods of exhaustion, stress-related ailments, and intense emotional strain that were carefully hidden from the public. She rarely cancelled appearances and seldom acknowledged her struggles, determined to maintain the image of strength and reliability. Behind that image, however, Mary was human, vulnerable, tired, and navigating challenges that audiences could never fully appreciate. Perhaps the most haunting element of Mary Tyler Moore's story was the psychological burden of perfection. She was expected to be flawless, the perfect actress, the perfect comedian, the perfect role model. The pressure to meet those expectations, combined with her own high standards, created an environment where mistakes were magnified and personal missteps felt catastrophic. Friends recall conversations where she spoke candidly about the weight of these expectations, about the invisible chains that fame had wrapped around her, no matter how independent or accomplished she appeared. The mystery that has surrounded Mary Tyler Moore for decades is finally becoming clear. It isn't about scandal or wrongdoing, but about the quiet, relentless struggles she faced in a world that demanded perfection while offering little empathy. It's about the battles fought behind the cameras, the sacrifices made for art and integrity, and the human cost of being a legendary figure in a relentless industry. What emerges from this picture is sobering. The Mary Tyler Moore that fans loved so dearly was also a woman quietly fighting a war few could see. The laughter, the smiles, the effortless charm. They were both her gift to the world and her shield, protecting her from the pressures and heartbreaks that lurked in every corner of Hollywood. Now, decades later, the full truth about Mary Tyler Moore is finally emerging. The mystery that haunted her life for so long isn't the kind of scandal tabloids crave. It isn't juicy gossip, nor is it a Hollywood betrayal. It is far more complex, far more human, and far more heartbreaking. The truth is this. Mary Tyler Moore's brilliance came at an immense personal cost, a cost that few outside her inner circle ever saw, and even fewer could truly understand. Mary's career was built on laughter and joy, yet behind the camera, the weight of expectations often left her exhausted and isolated. She lived in a world that demanded perfection while providing little room for error or vulnerability. Every joke she delivered, every perfectly timed pratfall, every brilliant expression on screen was the product of years of discipline, resilience, and private struggle. Fans saw only the end result, the humor, the charm, the warmth, but not the invisible battles that accompanied each performance. The pressures of Hollywood were relentless. Even as Mary became one of the most beloved figures in television history, she faced scrutiny that affected her emotionally and physically. Her decisions, whether personal or professional, were analyzed, misinterpreted, and sensationalized. Yet she carried on, determined not to let external expectations define her. That determination became both her greatest strength and one of the heaviest burdens she bore. Insiders now reveal the difficult choices she had to make. Projects she turned down, relationships she guarded, moments of vulnerability she kept hidden. She navigated a landscape where every word, every action, and even every glance could be distorted, all while maintaining the image of the cheerful, independent woman audiences adored. The contrast between her public persona and private reality was stark, and it's this duality that forms the heart of the Mary Tyler Moore mystery. The emerging truth also highlights her extraordinary resilience. Despite personal struggles, professional pressures, and constant scrutiny, she continued to innovate, inspire, and redefine television. She remained a pioneer for women in Hollywood, proving that independence, intelligence, and humor could coexist on the screen, even when the world demanded conformity and perfection. Her courage to persist, to protect her integrity, and to keep giving her best, even in the face of immense pressure, is nothing short of remarkable. What the world finally understands now is that the Mary Tyler Moore mystery isn't about fame, glamour, or scandal. It's about the silent battles, the unseen sacrifices, and the incredible fortitude required to maintain brilliance under relentless scrutiny. It's about the price of being a legend, a price paid quietly, with dignity, grace, and extraordinary courage. Mary Tyler Moore's story reminds us that even those who bring joy to millions are human. They carry burdens, face challenges, and navigate struggles that the public never fully sees. And while the smile, the laughter, and the iconic performances will always be remembered, the truth behind them, the mystery that is now finally solved, adds a new layer of awe and respect for a woman who gave so much to the world while quietly enduring far more than anyone could imagine. The mystery has been solved, and the truth isn't good. It's far greater. It's a testament to resilience, courage, and the human spirit. Mary Tyler Moore was not just a star. She was a fighter, a pioneer, and a woman who endured in ways the world is only now beginning to understand.